Section 16 of Stanton White, A Romance of the New South, by Asa Zadel Hall. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Chapter 16, The Great Campaign. On the morning following my visit to the colored church, Mr. Edson and I started upon our eventful trip. In some of the towns whither we journeyed, Mr. Edson was well received. There were those who, like himself, were thoroughly aroused on the educational question, and heartily concurred with all he suggested by way of reform. It was the opinion of some of these more intelligent citizens that Mr. Edson should run for the legislature, and they gave him every assurance that they would do what they could to make the district safe for him. Others there were, and these formed the majority of his hearers, who looked upon his burning enthusiasm with easy indifference. Some repudiated his teachings, declaring that they weren't going to have any cussed Yankee dictate to them. Customs that were good enough for their ancestors, and they could name plenty of famous men of their family line, were good enough for them, they reckoned. Unresponsive audiences they formed when he addressed them en masse, and very discouraging and provokingly cool were they when he met them as individuals. At the close of one of our meetings, we were greeted cordially by a certain Mr. Porter, a fleshy, distinguished-looking gentleman who graciously invited us to be his guests. After dinner, Mr. Porter fell into a communicative mood. "My dear sir," said he, in his pompous style, to Mr. Edson, "all the niggers were better off in the days of slavery than they now are. They were, and always will be, incompetent to take care of themselves." "Yes," interposed Mrs. Porter, a tall dame of refined features and dignified bearing. "Some of our own slaves were wise enough to know this, and are serving us the same as they did before the war." "Do you mean," said I in surprise, "that your servants are contented to receive no wages and to be looked upon as chattels?" "We do not look upon them exactly in that way," she replied, coloring slightly. "We call them peons, you know. I really believe that their lot is the happiest of any of the colored people. The other niggers who have got these newfangled notions about liberty and rights have drifted from bad to worse," asserted her spouse. "They form an idle, worthless class, a menace to public morals, and an eyesore to the community. All that can be done is to regulate them and hold them in restraint. Many people in the North think that we Southerners were all in league with the slave trader, the inhuman man-stealer and heartless severer of human ties. But I tell you, it's it's false." The plethoric gentleman here stopped to catch breath, and Mrs. Porter continued with vehemence. "No social outcast in the North was ever the object of such supreme contempt as was the slave trader of the South." Then, recovering her ordinary dignified tone to some extent, she continued, "We always kept our Negroes well, fed them well, gave them good shelter, and showed them plenty of kindness. Could anyone, Mr. Edson, legitimately ask for more?" Mr. Edson shifted his position uneasily, and then replied, "Nothing but liberty." During his 2 weeks of travel through the country, Mr. Edson found a sufficient number of public-spirited men to warrant the belief that the state could be aroused should an effort be made. Accordingly, he returned home for a short rest before engaging in the larger work. It was apparent, even to my dull vision, that Mr. Edson was rapidly developing the qualities of leadership. He attracted men by a latent power that was difficult to explain. He impressed others, and did not simply repress himself from offending others. I found that his life was influencing me in no uncertain manner, and when he asked whether it would be agreeable to me to exchange places with Stanton for a while, I found it difficult to give an affirmative answer. It was finally settled, however, that Stanton should accompany him on his second trip, and of the events of the greater campaign I learned only by letter. End of section 16, read by James K. White.